For the first year of my PhD, I thought that reading papers means reading papers word by word from top to the bottom, like reading novel. That's the reason I always behind. So today I'm gonna take you along the system that right now I'm using to read papers. And so far it was so beneficial and helpful for me. Hope it can help you too. So let's get together. Before I even open a paper, I have this whole little ritual. Coffee, a candle, some lo-fi playlist I've had on repeat since undergrad. It's less about productivity and more about telling my brain, okay, we're doing this now. I used to print everything out and highlight basically the whole page. And if more than half a page is highlighted, is anything actually highlighted? Months later, I'd open my folder of notes and have no idea why I underlined half of what I underlined. I'd reread the same paper 3 or 4 times because nothing was sticking. And before every meeting with my supervisor, I'd have this genuine panic the night before, flipping through papers and trying to remember what they even said. Actually, I don't feel I'm the only one. I feel a lot of you feels exactly the same right now. Well, nobody teaches you that how to read papers. Just for the first time when you go to the grad school, in first year, you just get handed a stack of papers and you have to figure it out by yourself that how you want to read those. But actually, the one thing that changed everything for me was that I asked one question from myself before starting a paper, that what I actually need from that paper right now. And it's actually active reading in one sentence. So here's what actually changed things for me. Before I read anything start to finish, I triage it. I read the abstract, I look at the figures and tables, and I read the conclusion. That's it, 3 things. That's alone tell me whether this paper is worth the full read or whether I can move on. When I get to the figures, I'm not just looking at what the graph shows. I'm asking, does this data actually back up what they're claiming in the abstract? That's usually where a paper falls apart or where it gets interesting. If the paper passes all that, I ask one more question. Do I actually need to understand how they did this? Or do I just need to know what they found? If it's central to my own research, I read the methods. If it's not, I let it go, and that decision alone has saved me hours. If it passes that test, I don't highlight for coverage anymore. I annotate for confusion. I only mark the spots where I don't understand something or where a claim doesn't seem back up yet. It sounds small, but It means when I go back to a paper, my highlights really mean something. Even with a system, I slip back into old habits. I still catch myself starting to highlight a whole paragraph instead of asking what's actually confusing me about it. And sometimes I skip triage entirely because the paper looks important, which is exactly the trap I'm trying to avoid. The last one is what turns a stack of separate notes into something I can actually use when I sit down to write. Once I read it properly, I write one structured note. Just 4 things. What the paper is actually claiming, what evidence they use to back it up, and what is the biggest limitation of this paper. And the part that I used to skip, how it connects to my own work. The last one is what turns a stack of separate notes into something I can usually use when I sit down to write. And every Friday, I give myself 5 minutes to just flip back through the week's notes. Nothing fancy. It's a difference between a paper I remember in a month and a paper I have to reread from scratch. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This system is not perfect because it falls apart in terms of really dense paper, heavy math papers, those that really need me to slow down and reread line by line, no matter which system I'm using. And some days I'm just tired and I just skip half of it and my notes just suffering for it. So I don't think there's a system that can fix it because I believe it's just PhD life. I also think that it is okay that it took me a year and a half until I figured it out. So if you're still in that messy phase, it's fine because it doesn't mean that you're behind. It's just a phase that you need to pass. And that's it. Laptop closed, go for a walk and get fresh air. Also reward yourself with whatever makes you happy. You deserve it right now. If reading paper is efficiently the first problem, the next one is how to keep ourselves updated and not falling behind. I'm gonna talk about this in the next video, but right now I wanna know about you. Like, what's the hardest part of your grad school right now? Tell me in the comments, and I'm really excited to read them one by one. See you in the next one. Bye bye.